Hi everyone, my name is Ramin Ahmadi. I'm a SharePoint developer at Content and Code, and I'm really glad that I'm with you again for another demo. So as you know, the PnP provisioning engine provides a code-centric and template-based platform for provisioning your site collections, and basically allows you to reuse provisioning models in Office 365 and also SharePoint Online and SharePoint On-Prem. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys using PnP PowerShell to automate your site creation. But today I'm not going to talk about writing PowerShell scripts. I'm going to show you how you can call Azure Functions to get or apply PnP provisioning template from a SharePoint web part. So for this demo, I have two site collections. This site collection has two custom lists that I created for this demo, but this one is empty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this PnP template XML from this site collection and apply it to the other one. So as you can see, we have two custom lists and library here. For this list, I have a custom content type, and this content type has 3 site columns. So if I go back to the home page, this is our web part. So you can get a template. You can use all of these handlers. If I select all, it just gets all of these handlers from this site collection, or you can select whatever you want. For this demo, I'm going to select fields, lists, and content types. And when I click on Get Templates, it's going to trigger the Azure function to get the template, and it will return the result soon. And yeah, here you go. So this is the template, and you can download the file that gives you the XML file. As you can see, we have the site fields, site columns. We have the content types, and also the fields, also the list. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to the other site collection. We have also that web part here. And if I go to apply template, I can just drag our XML file here. And it's going to trigger another Azure function to apply the template to this site collection. So I think it should be something wrong with the XML file. I just added this capability to upload file today to this web part. So it might be something with this web part, but this is something we expect to apply the template to the site collection. I'm pretty sure it worked before the demo. I just tested a couple of times, but as you know, it always happens in the demo. But I'm mostly excited about the code behind this web part because there are more to talk about. So let's start from the SPFx web part. All of the components in this web part are functional, and there is no class components here. As you know, React hooks are a new addition in React 16.8. They let you use state and other React features without writing a class. There are a lot of posts around React hooks, so I'm just going to talk about some of them here. One of the issues all of us experience is passing props down to child components. And it's really painful when you're dealing with a complex projects. There are a couple of ways to solve this issue, like estate management libraries, like Redux is one of them, but there is a huge amount of boilerplate code in every Redux application. So React Context API is a way of essentially creating global variables that can be passed around in a React application. So imagine I have some information and methods to update those information. I want to be available anywhere or everywhere throughout our application. We can create a context using create context. And these are our information and methods that I'm going to use in all the child components in our application. This class create context gives you app context provider and app context consumer. What these two components do is straightforward. Provider is the component that provides the values that you can see here. This is our provider component. And the consumer is the component that is consuming the value. The provider always needs to exist as a wrapper around the parent element. No matter how you choose to consume the values, I wrap the entire app component in the provider. Now any child, grandchild, and so on will have access to this information. For example, if I go to one of these child components, you can see here in this first line, I can use context and get our app context from here. And then you can use the context variables and methods everywhere in your components. And also there are some other hooks that you can see here. For example, use state returns a pair, the current state value, and a function that lets you update that value, like this one. And also you can have multiple user states in your application, in your basically components, like here. And also we have use effect or effect hooks. Effect hook this adds the ability to perform side effects from a function component. If you're likely perform data fetching, subscriptions, or manually changing the DOM with this hook, it serves the same purpose as component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount in React classes. Effects may also optionally specify how to clean up after them by returning function like this, and you can use more than a single effect in a component. So this is our web part, and this is a really good sample if you want to use React hooks, especially use context to share all your information among your application. And this is our Azure Functions solution. So we have two classes here. One is for getting the application, getting the provisioning template. So it just uses PnP core, PnP core package as you can see here, and also here. And this class is for getting the PnP provisioning template. So as you can see, we just connect to the Azure Functions through a helper class that helps you to get the Azure AD app-only authentication context. And after that, you can get the templates like this and return the XML file to the web part or any code that triggers that Azure function. We also have apply provisioning template. Here you can pass your file to this Azure function, and you're going to apply the template to the site collection. So I think that's it for the web part.
Here we go. So give me 1 second. I just lost my team somewhere in my screens. It's over there. So here we go. Really cool stuff. And I think it's sure there's always demo effect, but the fact that you can actually extract the template from a web part is really usable, and you can select which of the things that we want to extract and all of that. So there was a question related on Katie's design. Can you extract that kind of a site? And this is exactly how you extract that kind of a site. You select those things which you want to extract, and then you extract that. And beauty of this one, actually, I know, Ramin, you worked with the templates for quite a lot. From your perspective, is it hard to manually then adjust or modify these things, or how do you create a template for your customer?
basically we use PnP PowerShell to automate this site creation. So we have different templates we implement for different customers, different clients, and we write some PowerShell scripts to apply those templates to existing site or creating a new site based on those templates. But I was thinking, so sometimes it's really difficult to tell client how you can apply these templates. Sometimes the scripts is not working, and there are some problems with the PowerShell scripts. So I was thinking maybe I can implement something that make it more simpler for administrators to get or apply the templates. I came up with this web parts because you can use them in the classic page as well. But I'm pretty sure it would be great if you can have it as an extension, so it will be available by default for all site collections, and also it can be more advanced to save the templates somewhere in the SharePoint or in Azure, like a Belop storage, and then we can apply the template from those saved templates.
Sure. So having a kind of application customizer which then shows an export or save a site as a template capability if you're an administrator of that site, and then you click save, and that actually saves that XML blob to the Azure, and then in a custom provisioning side of the house, it just shows the options from the Azure side of the house. Now, that would be then matching on what we used to have in classic site templates. The classic site templates were good idea back in 2007, but then the technology moved forward faster, and the classic site template implementation is not future-proof. It's something which is actually fundamentally technically broken even for classic sites. We talked about that quite a few times in the past years. What's wrong with that implementation and why the remote provisioning pattern is better. Somebody might be wondering, why aren't we actually implementing this remote provisioning pattern and this export capabilities out of the box? And we are doing that with site designs, but the investments takes time, and the implementation takes time. And to be fair, in the case of PnP tenant templates, the tenant templates are actually in a tenant level. Site designs are always in a site level. So in a tenant templates or PnP templates, you can create multiple site collections in a single template if needed. You can operate in a single site as well, like in this case in the Ramin's case, which is definitely an option as well. But one of the challenges what we keep on having in engineering is that actually community contributes on the PnP side so much that the engineering is having a hard time of catching up. And that's really shows the power of open source and community, because this template engine is being used by thousands and thousands of customers every single month, which is pretty cool. So it's an interesting balance and challenge on catching from an engineering side on what people are having and contributing on the open source side of the house. There's a question related on why are we doing site script site designs way if we already have a proven PnP module to provision site, which is a fair question. And that really comes down on the performance of things. The PnP engine works on the client side, so using remote APIs, and that's much slower than executing the same operations using server-side APIs, which would be possible as long as we are implementing the similar capabilities using then the native APIs. So that's really why the site design capability is being worked on, so that the performance of the provisioning operations is faster. And why didn't we just fix the site template model? Answer is we couldn't. The site template model was designed back in 2005. Now it's 2019. Technology has evolved quite significantly forward, and there were some fundamental issues with the site template model, the STP file, or then even the VSV-SP file when it was moved to be a sandbox solution. So there was no way for really fixing that implementation. It had a fundamental design flaw from a starting point. It actually did work well in on-premises where we shipped a version in once in every 3 years, but in SharePoint Online, we ship a version in every single week. So in this agile way of evolving the service, the classic WSP way of saving a site as a template is not a functional solution. That's why we needed to redesign the model.